Welcome to God's own state, Nigeria's SME hub, Abia, one of the country's fastest-growing economies. Under the leadership of Governor Okezie Ikpeazu, the state is undergoing critical and long-awaited transformation.
We came on board in 2015, and luckily we had a background report by the World Bank, which indicated that here in Abia State we have about 250,000 young artisans working on all kinds of leather works, the shoes, the bags and belts, and then doing all kinds of garments too. So we decided to mainstream our industrialization based on this particular subsector, leather and garment. And we also know that each of those artisans would employ ordinarily just about between 4, 5, 6 or 7 hands doing all kinds of things. And that gives you more than 1 million people. And every reasonable and responsible government must do something about that chunk of young people doing, So we looked at their problems. We had problem of power, problem of automation, problem of market share, capacity building, and all that. So we set out to do quite a few things around marketing. And I'm proud to say that I'm the chief marketer of Made in Aba, or Made in Abia, or Made in Nigeria.
Right. How are you the chief marketer if you got?
Yeah.
I'm sure you got people out there that does that.
Yes, but from 2015 till date, I've ensured that I wear only locally manufactured shoes, dresses, and my dresses are not bad at all. So, and I have taken the story of the ingenuity of the average Nigerian youth. I just used Aba as a brand to drive home the need for us to patronize Made in Nigeria goods. And I've gone to the Nigerian military, and we've done at some point 50,000 pairs of shoes for them. I've gone to customs, Nigerian, NYSC. I've gone everywhere. I've gone to the National Assembly, and the story is, what do we do to look at what we have got? Because patronage reinforces perfection, And but down the line, we've decided to tackle the issues of power, because today, in our major cluster around that area, we have an independent power project called the Area Independent Power Project, which we did in collaboration with the federal government, and is a gas-propelled power project, just to provide an alternative power for all the shoemakers and garment makers around area. And we are confident that with the coming of a new independent power plant for this entire area, covering my state and some other states around here, Abia State is perhaps going to be the first state in Nigeria that will have uninterrupted power, and we think that will happen before the end of this year.
This is the Powerline Shoe Cluster Market, part of the Area International Market in Abia State. Aba used to be known as that market that doesn't meet international standard. In recent years, the story has changed. This market now produces products that are well to standard, internationally qualified for exports, and they are doing exploits. The current administration is doing all they can to create an enabling environment for businesses, shoe manufacturing as well as wares. Welcome to the Aba market. Okay, so if you have a machine, for instance, if it's automated, you think that would make it a lot better?
Yeah, we produce more than 500 to 700 pairs in a week.
Right, brilliant. Okay, so in terms of capital to start this kind of business for a small scale or startup, how much do you think such a person should be looking at?
Okay, we'll be looking at up to 7 to 1 million naira to start the business.
That's big. We're talking small scale for a startup, someone that hasn't got that much money. How much do you think such a person can start with?
Okay, let's say 200,000
200.
to start.
Okay. So from that 200,000, how much profit margin do you think 200 can give an individual?
In a year or in 6 months?
In 3 months.
In 3 months. Let's say can manage up to 70,000.
Okay.
At some point, in order to tackle the problem of capacity building and automation, we sent out 30 youths to China to train them on how to work on the machines, because we found it a little bit drudgery, a lot of drudgery in using scissors to cut leather all the time. So we took them to China and they were trained there, and we imported the machines, and that gave birth to the Enasco, Enyimba Automated Shoe Company, which is presently doing shoes for Nigerian Railway. Exactly. So for us, the problem of automation, we are almost getting that over with now, because we are going to commission another line for shoes very soon. And we want to get to a point where even the ordinary artisans in our area can come over to that shoe factory and have us do a few things.
Is that in process at the moment?
Oh yeah, sure.
Okay.
Very sure. As I speak, the cluster which you visited in our area, they are a major shareholder in that company. That's more or less their company. Government is just midwifing it and helping them too. But we want it to be a private sector driven enterprise, And we have also tried to set up a quality control mechanism that can look at minimum standards of the shoes they produce.
Okay.
And it's a question of time, but we have moved from point A to point B, and we're heading to our destination, which is just to produce shoes that can compete with any shoes anywhere in the world. And we're going to do the same thing for garments in a few weeks from now.
The Aba Shoe Factory is a fully automated shoemaking company to scale up production and ensure world-class standards are met, and at the same time, empowering the youth of Abia State with skills on machineries that ease the labor of leather business.
Our branding and marketing activity exposed a lot of things that happen in Aba. It brought attention from every major stakeholder, the federal government, paramilitary institutions, private sector. Everybody came to notice that so much was actually going on within the Aba SME ecosystem. So even before the factory came up, we already had institutional collaborations. For example, the military had before now ordered 50,000 pairs of shoes to be produced here in Aba. And it took us some time to put together the organization with the leather producers to come up with that delivery. And so we had the paramilitary institutions in Nigeria. We had, just recently, we did a delivery of 3,000 pairs to the Nigeria Railway Corporation. Today, we're official contractors, in terms of shoe production to the Nigerian police. We have several other institutions that are working with us. But this factory, the way it's structured, is a platform for many people who are in the leather, value chain. I keep referring to the people who do leather in the area cluster, the 200,000 people who, up until now still do manual production. So what we have, the deal we have with them is that at some point, when they have huge and large orders, they come here and they finish. So we've had a whole lot of that happening here. People get order to produce 1,000 pairs of school shoes and 500, 2,000 pair of a particular kind of design. Because what people don't know is that actually a lot of shoes you find in the shelves in places like New York, Dubai, are all produced here in Aba. They find their way out of Aba to all those kind of places in the world. We've done a study that revealed to us that about 1 million pairs of leather products leave Aba every week, and that's huge. And all that, before now, were done manually. But with the activities of this factory, there's been a whole lot of scaling up in terms of quality and standard, in terms of numbers of products.